Well, looks like no toaster bath tonight. Grossi Posse Packer Nation! Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't do a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom frickin' frackin' 9-3 Grossi, and we are coming to you after the Green Bay Packers have defeated the New York Giants 31-13, a beautiful piece of symmetry, and the Packers rise to 9-3. While the Giants fall to 2-10. Now, don't let this score confuse you because this game was close until the Packers decided to score 14 points in the last quarter. But it was 17-10 at half and then 17-13 in the third quarter until the Packers were able to run away with it. Now, obviously in New Jersey, it was a snowy, sleety day, which is right up the Packers' alley. But They did struggle a bit on offense, especially in the run game. I thought you were going to see a huge game from Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, but you did not see any of that. Instead, a big game for Aaron Rodgers through the air. And the defense, as it has been all year, or at least the past 6 games or so, has been hot and cold. But before we break that down, we will also be streaming tonight's Sunday Night Football game with the Patriots and the Texans, and tomorrow night's game with the Vikings and the Seahawks. Not only will we be doing it on YouTube, but due to popular demand, we will also be streaming it on Hot Mic, the app for iOS. It will be coming out for Android within this next week, I am told. What you could do is you could stream your TV to the app, and so I will replace your commentators, and you will still get the game sound, except you'll hear this Muppet voice coming out of your phone or your Bluetooth speakers or what have you. A lot of people loved it last week, and so I recommend you checking that out. Just go and download the Hot Mic app. It's completely and totally free. Just use the promo code Grossi, as right now it is invite only. And you guys seemed to like it last week, so we'll continue rolling with that. Now, looking at some stats, Rodgers going 21 for 33, 243 yards, and 4 touchdowns for the day. So Rodgers himself having a good day. Williams was 10 for 41. Jones only 11 for 18. Didn't get a whole lot of anything, especially nothing during the passing game, but really didn't have much going on in the running game either. Allen Lazard targeted 3 times for 103 yards and 1 touchdown. Had a great game. Devontae Adams, the most targeted wide receiver on the team, for 10 targets, but caught 6 balls, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And the defense themselves had 3 interceptions. And so, you know, looking at those interceptions, you look specifically at Kevin King. Kevin King letting up a touchdown early to Sterling Shepard, and then turning around and making an interception. Had a couple of nice plays in coverage, but somewhat continues to be a liability on that defense. And thankfully, they weren't able to get Saquon Barkley going. We were stuffing him at the line, but it also seemed like the Giants really just didn't have a plan for anything. They were very aggressive on 4th down, though, converting 3 out of 4. And, some of those were long 4th downs as they were still able to convert. The Packers went for it on 4th down once and converted as well on 4th and 10. But Daniel Jones going 20 for 37, 240 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Barkley only 19 for 83 on the ground. Now, taking a look at kind of like some bullet points of this game. The fact that there's no Aaron Jones does concern me, considering this would be like a tailor-made game for him. So we've seen this throughout the entire season, right? We get away from Aaron Jones and we go back to him, or when Aaron Jones isn't doing well, then you play Jamal Williams, who had a pretty good game in the passing game and also on the ground, not too terrible. But looking at the defense as a whole, it's great that we were able to get turnovers, but we're also going against a terrible team with a terrible offensive line. Daniel Jones, who's still a rookie, and he really had no targets to throw to as they are facing a litany of injuries. Golden Tate was out, Ingram is out, and they were still able to put up points and keep this game close for a while. And I think what it comes down to is a complete lack of team identity. We've been talking about that, and we're sitting at 9-3, so this is really nitpicking at this point. But you get blown out by the 49ers last week, which thankfully they lost this week to the Ravens. But you look at it and seeing if this team is going to be able to compete in the playoffs. And while I don't want to jump the gun and be like, oh man, I really need this team to go far in the playoffs, it is a first-year coach. It's a second year with Mike Pettin, who has a lot of additions to that defense. And some people are starting to call attention to Mike Pettin, saying that the results need to be better than they have been, and the offense has been stumbling in that they really don't have an identity. We don't know, when it comes to the run game, when we don't know the passing game, it does seem like there's an over-reliance on Davante Adams, which makes sense in some scenarios because he is the wide receiver number one. But, Geronimo Allison had a big drop in the beginning, but then came back and got a few big catches for him. But other than that, besides Allen Lazard having a good day, but only targeted 3 times and came up with 3 catches, it's just tough for me to look at this team and be like, what are we? Are we an offensive team that's going to be through the ground or through the air? I would say no to either of those. Are we a defensive team? Definitely would say no to that. And it baffles me. You have Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, who played well today, getting a lot of pressures on the quarterback, and because of that made our secondary look a lot better. But, overall, I think this team needs to forge an identity. And looking at the schedule that we have ahead, right, we have the Redskins and Bears at home, which should be 2 winnable games. Then we have the Vikings and Lions. The Vikings might wind up being for the division, and we could finish as the number 3 seed, maybe even higher, but depends on what the Seahawks and 49ers do and who wins that division. But right now, I see us winning the 3 seed because whoever wins the NFC East will be the 4 because they're just complete and total garbage. And so we will have a home game for the playoffs, most likely, unless we finish in the 6th seed. Right now, it's either the 3 or the 6 unless some catastrophic thing happens. And so I think just over these next few games where they are against get-right teams, we need to come up big and kind of forge of what team are we going to be in January. Now, at the same time, for Packers fans who are complaining, again, we have that first-year coach. If you were to tell me that at week 13 we would be 9-3, I would be over the moon. That would be great. And sometimes, as this score indicates, it was a closer game until the 4th quarter. A lot of people were expecting a blowout. I thought it was going to be not as close as it was. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. These are still NFL teams. And I think there are definitely flaws with the Green Bay Packers. And it's just a matter of, trying to figure out who the hell we want to be. And I just hope we figure that out before January. But listen, all you got to do is get to the dance. And right now we're putting ourselves in great position to make the playoffs and potentially get a home game. So we shall see. But let me know what you think down in the comments below about this game. Are you shocked that the game was so close for so long? Are you just happy with the win? How are you feeling about the defense or the offense? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you all to Patreon members or at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. But thank you so much for watching. We'll be streaming tonight's game. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack, go.